Grace and peace to you, friends. Welcome to the Oak Tree Journeys. My name is Mandy Oaks, and what you stumbled upon, if this is your first time here, is the Encyclopedia Challenge. What in the world is the Encyclopedia Challenge, you may ask? That's a great question. The Encyclopedia Challenge is where I read the entire encyclopedia to you in bite-sized chunks. And I read from two different encyclopedias. The main source right now is the New Imperial Encyclopedia and Dictionary of 1909 and the Encyclopedia Americana of 1956. And the reason I say the main one for now is because I don't have the full set of the 1909, but that's okay because I do have the full set of the 1956. And when I say bite-sized chunks, today we've got a huge goal ahead of us. And I mean huge. Before I get into what that goal is, I just want to do a couple of reminders if you've missed any of the podcasts or YouTube clips. And remember, we are doing the YouTube clips now, not the full show on YouTube. But if you've missed any of them, go to theoaktreejourneys.com. Again, that is theoaktreejourneys.com. And you'll see a full list. If you click on Encyclopedia Challenge, you'll see the full list with links. And you'll also notice that there are 3 words starred as you go down through that list. And that is for our bonus video. Not video, podcast. That is for our bonus podcast. And what that bonus podcast is we will do a deep dive of the words when we get 5 or more. So right now we have a total of 4. One of them is not on that list yet because we haven't been over it, but it's a special request from someone based on a blog or article that was sent to me, and they were a little confused about it, so they asked me to do a deeper dive into it, but I will not reveal anything else about it because I'm very excited. But let's go over those bonus words that we have so far. Remember, we need 5 or more. And if there are way more than 5, I may have to split it up into 2 bonus videos or podcasts, but that is totally fine with me. All right, and the 4 bonus words that we have so far are Abbotsford, absidiary rings, abnormal psychology, and amen. So those are our 4 right now, and I just need at least 1 more to do the bonus deep dive podcast. And before I get into our words of the day, I just want to say a special shout out to the Camp NaNoWriMo peeps out there. You've got about 14 days left, so good luck with that. And I hope you reach all of your goals for this month. Okay, and I promise that we've got a big goal today. So our goal is 59 words. We may not get through them all, but we will definitely try. Again, that's 59 words. So, since we've got so many words, let's go ahead and get started. Now, we stopped at ACCOUTRE last week. And remember, we used to do these every day, but I've dropped down to once a week for my projects. And my projects are going very well. An editor got back with me on my Riley Shifter story. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I'm very grateful to her. She's a wonderful editor. So a special shout out to you. I don't have her permission to use her name, but definitely a special shout out. That was a huge job. So I appreciate it. And then the children's story is going very well. My edits are going well with that. And then I've got to find someone to edit that too. So we ended with ACCOUTRE last week, and our next word out of the New Imperial Encyclopedia and Dictionary of 1909 is ACCOUTRE. That's a verb, and it's ACCOUTRE. And let's find out what it means. ACCOUTRE is to dress or equip for military service, to arm. ACCOUTRING, ACCOUTRED, accoutrements. Military dress or equipments as the belt for the support of the soldier's arms, his pouch or pouches, and sometimes his sash, trappings, or ornaments. Okay, and the next word is accoy. Accoy is a verb, and that means in Old English to render coy, to make diffident, to caress. And that's a verb, accoy. And we are in the A as in apple, C as in Charlie, C as in Charlie's right now. So that's A and two C's, or double C. All right, and the next word is only in the Encyclopedia Americana, but I thought it was really interesting. I almost decided to skip over it. Excuse me. But I decided to go ahead and do it. Let's see. And I seem to have lost my place there. I had it all. Okay, here it is. Okay, it's ACCOUTRE, and that's spelled two different ways. If you go to my website, theoaktreejourneys.com, you'll see that it's spelled either A as in apple, C as in Charlie, C as in Charlie, R as in Robert, A as in apple, or A as in apple, K as in kite, K as in kite, R as in Robert, A as in apple. Okay, and that is a capital since 1876 of the Gold Coast Colony, British West Africa, a fortified seaport with a roadstead on the Gulf of Guinea, close to the equator. A railroad links the city with the inland cacao plantations, Kumasi, Hashinti, about 110 miles northwest, and Takoradi, about 150 miles west-southwest. Cacao and gold are the principal exports. Accra has several old forts built by European traders in the 17th century. Forts James and Creveture were constructed by the English and Dutch. Fort Christiansburg, an imposing castle of Danish origin from 1657, now serves as the governor's residence. The administrative section is at Victoriaburg, where there is also a racecourse. On the Aquapim Hills at Abury, 20 miles northeast, are the government sanitarium and botanical garden. About 5 miles north is Achimota College, established in 1927. An international airport was opened in the northeastern outskirts. Accra had to be rebuilt after the destructive fire in 1894. The city was also damaged by earthquake in 1939. Oh man. During World War II, it served as an Allied transatlantic air base and was the site of the U.S. Air Transport Command for West Africa. Population in 1948 was 135,926. So there we go. That is Accra. And that's from the Encyclopedia Americana of 1956. Okay, our next word is accredit. And it is, before I go into accredit, it looks like Accra is in the 1909. It's just really small and it's easy to miss. And this one says it's spelled A as in apple, C as in Charlie, C as in Charlie, R as in Robert, A as in apple, or A as in apple, C as in Charlie, R as in Robert, A as in apple. So it doesn't even mention the AKKRA. So that's interesting. So let's see. It's just two little bitty lines. That's it. It says capital since 1875 of the Gold Coast. Population in 1901 was 14,842. See Guinea. So in 1901, the population was 14,842. And in 1948, it was 135,926. That is a huge difference. But my apologies. It is really easy to miss in this New Imperial Encyclopedia and Dictionary. But let's go ahead and move on to accredit, which is a verb. And we are in the New Imperial Encyclopedia and Dictionary of 1909. And that means to give trust to procure honor or credit for, to stamp with authority, accrediting, accredited, authorized to appear as one possessing the confidence of another or as a public character. Synonym of accredit, to delegate, depute, commission, entrust. Okay, and the next word is accretion, So accretion is a noun. It means a growing into, increase by external addition to new matter. Accretive, growing to by external additions. Accrescence, increase to anything by additions, as in the growth of plants, as distinguished from excrescence, a protuberance or growth on a body. Accrescent, in botany, growing after flowering. So that is accretion. So the next word is Accrington. So that's Accrington. Say that 10 times fast. But Accrington is both in the 1909 and the 1956 encyclopedias. So let's look at the 1909 first. So it says, manufacturing town of England in Lancashire, which has recently increased much in size and importance, lies in a deep valley surrounded by hills about 35 miles northeast of Liverpool and 13 miles east of Preston on the banks of Hinburn. Christ Church is a fine Gothic building erected in 1838. The inhabitants are mostly employed in cotton factories, weaving, and calico printing. Accrington is considered the center of the cotton printing business. There are coal mines in the neighborhood in which many of the inhabitants find employment. Population including Old Accrington, 43,000. Old Accrington is an adjacent chapelry, also with cotton manufacturers. Okay, so that was from 1909. Let's see what the 1956 version says about it. It says, Accrington, England, a manufacturing town and municipal borough in Lancashire on the Hinburn, 20 miles north of Manchester, between Blackburn and Burnley. It is well laid out and has various handsome buildings, including the 18th century church, the town hall, a splendid market hall, technical school and school of art, a textile and engineering center. It manufactures and prints cottons, besides producing dyes and all kinds of machinery. Coal is wrought extensively in the area. So the population in 1951 was 40,671. So in the 1909, let's see, it was 43,000. And in 1951, it was 40,671. So it looks like it dropped, unless the 1956 version is not including Old Accrington, but it doesn't say. So otherwise it dropped. All right, and so that's interesting. That usually increases, if you've noticed. Okay, now the next one is actually an error in the 1909. The next one in the 1909 says accubation. So it goes from Accrington to accubation to accrue. So accrue should actually be before accubation. But I'm going to read it as it's typed in the 1909. I just wanted to let you all know that I did not make that mistake. I thought I made the mistake whenever I went back over my list. But it turns out that I did not. So I do type it out. But thankfully I did not make that mistake. So let's go ahead and read it as it is in the Encyclopedia, or the New Imperial Encyclopedia and Dictionary of 1909. Okay, accubation is an act of reclining applied specifically to the ancient customs of reclining or lying extended on a couch or bench at meals. The custom prevailed among the Orientals and was adopted from them by the Greeks and Romans. The mode was to lie flat on the breast or supported by the left elbow, the table being lower than the couches. Okay, so let's see. Instead of going straight to accrue, we're going to go now to the Encyclopedia Americana for our next word, which is actually someone's name. And that name is, where's my list? Come Frederick Christian. So a crumb Frederick Christian. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. A cum Frederick Christian. And he was a German chemist born in Buchenberg, Westphalia, Germany, March 29th, my birthday, 1769, died Berlin, Germany, June 28, 1838. Removing to London in 1793, he was made 8 years later professor of chemistry and mineralogy at the Surrey Institute. He published several textbooks on these sciences, but is remembered mainly for being together with an energetic publisher, Ackerman, the introducer of gaslighting into England. His practical treatise on gaslight appeared in London in 1815. As the result of charges against his honesty, he returned to Germany and in 1822 was made professor in the Industrial Institute and Academy of Architecture at Berlin. Okay, so you can consider that one a bonus because he is not listed in the 1909. And now we're on accrue. Okay, accrue is a verb, and it means to increase by growing to arise from, to proceed, to come to be added as increase or profit. Accruing, accrued, accruement, addition, increase. Okay, and that is accrue, and yes, that was in the wrong spot. But we'll go ahead and move on to accumbent. So accumbent is an adverb. Leaning upon, reclining at meals, accumbency, the state of being accumbent. Okay. And next we have accumulate. Let's see. Accumulate is a verb. And sorry, I got a little distracted there. Accumulate is a verb. It means heaped. Let's see. To heap or pile up, to collect or gather, to increase greatly. Adjective, heaped, collected, accumulating, accumulated, accumulation. Noun, the act of heaping up or collecting the things accumulated. Accumulative, taken as a whole or in the mass. Accumulatively, accumulator. Noun, one who gathers or amasses. Synonym of accumulate, to amass, heap together, pile up, collect, gather, aggregate. Okay, and our next word is accuracy. And that is a noun. And that means the state of being prepared with care, correctness, exactness, accurateness, noun, freedom from error or mistake, accurate, adverb, prepared with care, very exact, free from error or mistake, accurately, exactly, without error. Synonym of accurate, exact, precise, correct, nice, just, punctual, particular, and strict. So that was accuracy. Now the next word is a curse. A curse. Verb, to devote to utter destruction, to call down evil or misery upon. Accursed. Doomed, wicked, execrable, accursedly, after the manner of him who is accursed. Okay, and that was a curse. Now we go to accuse. So I keep double checking my list to make sure I'm not supposed to go back to the other one yet, and it looks like not quite yet. So we had a curse, now accuse, which is a verb, and it means to charge with a crime or fault, to blame, accusing, accused, accusation, noun, the being declared guilty of a crime or fault, a charge brought against anyone. Accuser, noun, one who blames or charges someone with a fault or a crime. Accusable, chargeable with a crime. Accusatory, that blames, tending to accuse. Accusative, the name for the case in Latin, which is called in English the objective, censoring. Accusatively, after the manner of the accusative case. Synonym of accuse, to charge, impeach, arraign, blame, censure, indict, of accusation, censure, charge, crimination, impeachment. Okay, and the next word is accustom. So we had accuse, and now we have accustom, which is a verb, and it means to make familiar with by habit or use, to inure to, accustoming, accustomed, frequent, usual, accustomary, usual, customary, accustomarily, according to common or usual practice, synonym of accustom, to inure, familiarize, habituate, exercise, train. Okay, and that was accustom. So we were in double C's, and that ends our double C's. So we are finally in just the AC. So let me grab some water real quick, and we'll get to the ACs. Okay, and the first one is ace. Okay, ace is a noun. It's a unit, a trifle, a single figure or mark on a card as ace of clubs. Within an ace, within a very small quantity or degree, very nearly. Note, the Latin as a pound came to signify the unit of measure, and thence was applied to the card or side of a dice that is marked with a single point. See Bratchett by Kitchen. Others affirm there is no connection between L as English ace, or between Latin and English ace. Okay, so that's all they had to say about ace. So we are on our 17th word, and this one is in both the New Imperial Encyclopedia and Dictionary and the Encyclopedia Americana. So let's see what the 1909 version says about it. It is aceldama. So it's aceldama or aceldama. And it's a noun. It's a field near Jerusalem, so named because bought by Judas with the price of blood, and the scene of his violent death by his own hands, a place where much blood has been shed. And it says see Acts. This is I-19. Alright, so let's take a look at the 1956. Version. It's taking just a minute. I've got a small table tonight, or today, and okay. So aceldama, sometimes aceldama or hasseldama. So that's with an H as in house or horse instead of an A as in apple. Okay, and it's a cemetery in Jerusalem used to bury strangers in. The traditional site is on a small plateau halfway up the southern slope of the Valley of Hinnom, near its junction with the Valley of Jehoshaphat. It was certainly used in the 6th century for the burial of Christian pilgrims and continued to use till the early 19th century. The field has been owned by the non-United Armenians since the 16th century. According to Matthew 27:3-8, it was bought by the chief priests and elders for a burial ground, with the 30 pieces of silver returned by Judas. After the betrayal, according to Acts 1:18-19, it was purchased by Judas himself with the money, which he did not return, and his bowels burst open in it. According to both, the name means the field of blood, and it was a potter's field. And there's the history of that from both the 1909 and 1956. Okay, and the next word is acephala. So acephala, and it's a noun, and it's applied to those mollusks who have no distinct head, as the oyster, the scallop, etc. Okay, and there is a very long word. Let's see what it's the Lamella bronchiata, Mollusca, acephalus, headless, distinguished from encephalus, having a distinct head. In botany, applied to the style that is lateral and does not surmount the ovary. Acephalcyst, noun, a species of internal parasite consisting of an oval vesicle filled with fluid. That one sounds gross. All right, and our next word is strictly in the Encyclopedia Americana of 1956. Let me just double check my notes to make sure. Okay, so I see what I did. We just got through with acephala, which ends in A as in apple. And the next word from the Encyclopedia Americana is acephaly, which ends in I as in igloo. Okay, and it means about the same thing as what I gather. It says, in political history... Oh, never mind. Not never mind, I'm not going to read it. Forget what I said about it being about the same, but it says Greek is headless, so that's why I thought it was the same. And I just read these, so I don't know. Weird on me. Okay, so acephaly, in political history, certain levelers in the reign of Henry I of England, who acknowledged no head or emperor, or according to another explanation, who were too poor to own any property, and so have any legal superior. In church history, 1. Bishops exempt from the jurisdiction and discipline of a patriarch. 2. Clergy belonging to no diocese. 3. Those who, on occasion of a dispute in the Council of Ephesus, AD 431, refused to follow either John of Antioch or Cyril of Alexandria. 4. Those who rejected the decision of the Council of Chalcedon in 451 on the nature of Christ. 5. In the 5th and 6th centuries, a large section of the followers of the Monophysite Peter Mongus, who cast him off as their leader because of his accepting a peaceful formula called the Heneticon. They decided to be without a head and soon after split into 3 parties, the Anthropomorphites and the Barsanophites and the Essenists, who again gave origin to other sects. Okay. There we go. And that was acephaly, spelled with an I as an igloo at the end instead of an A as an apple. Right, and our next word is is in both encyclopedias. So since we're already in the 1956 one, let's go ahead and read from there. The next word is Acer, which is a maple tree, the larger of 2 genera belonging to the family Aceraceae, includes nearly 150 species, most of which are deciduous trees, which some are shrubby and a few are evergreen. Maples are widely distributed in the northern hemisphere, mainly in mountainous regions. Over 50 species are cultivated in a host of horticultural forms. They are particularly attractive in the autumn with their beautiful, richly colored foliage. Commonly cultivated species are the sycamore maple, Norway maple, and the Japanese maple. Typical maple leaves are palmately 5-lobed and about as long as wide, whereas pinnate leaves with 3, 5, or 7 leaflets are characteristic of the box elder of the United States. The distinctive fruits, known as keys, are one-seeded samaras, which each consisting of a nut and wing. Notable among the 15 species indigenous to the United States are whistlewood, or moosewood, the sugar maples, the red maples, and the box elder. Some species furnish valuable lumber. See also maple. Okay, so let's see what the 1909 version has to say about Acer. Okay, and it's really simple. It says Acer and Aceraceae, C, maple. So there we go. Aren't you glad I read the 1956 first? I know I am. Okay, so let's go on to acerb. Actually, it's pronounced acerb. My apologies. Acerb. And it's spelled A as in apple, C as in Charlie, E as in Edward, R as in Robert, and B as in boy. And it's an adverb. It means sour, bitter. Acerbity, noun, also acerbitude, noun, sourness with bitterness, sharpness of temper and manners. So there's a word. I need to lock that away in my mental vocabulary there and use it in writing. Acerb. Okay, and the next word, it looks like we have 5 more words to go before break. So let's see. So acerbic is the next word. So acerbic is an adverb, and it means of the maple tree, as acerbic acid, an acid found in its juice. So that's acerbic. And the next word is aceros, which is an adverb, and it means husky, chafy. Oh, excuse me. It means in botany, linear and sharp-pointed, applied to the leaves of the fir tribe. Aceros, adverb, is husky or chafy. Okay. And the next word is acera, which is in the Encyclopedia Americana of 1956. Let's switch over to there. Oh, and it's pronounced acera, not acera, acera. And it's southern Italy, a commune and episcopal see about 9 miles northeast of Naples on the railroad to Rome, located opposite Mount Soma of the Vesuvius. The town is an agricultural center of the fertile Campania. Inundations from the neighboring Agno formerly made it very unhealthy, but the malarial marshes are now drained. There is a fine cathedral. Acera is the ancient Acera that was admitted to Roman citizenship in 332 BC and plundered and burned by Hannibal in 216 BC. Commune population in 1951 was 25,059. Okay, and that was Acera. Okay, and before I move on to the next word, just wanted to say that for the word that I was going to put away, the acerb, the sourness with bitterness, sharpness, a friend of mine decided to play this really cool game with me, and it was a writing game, and she decided to pick a word, and we'd have to write a story in 55 words or less using that word. And so she wants me to pick the next word. The word that she picked was flummoxed, and it was so much fun. So I'm contemplating using the word acerb. So I think I may do that and see if she can write a story in 55 words or less with the word acerb. But we'll see. But the flummoxed project that she gave me was just super, super fun, and I can't wait to try it again. Okay, so let's move on. I did a little break there. Okay. And we have 2 more words before break. And the next word, which is actually the 25th word, is acerval. So that's acerval, in heaps. Acervate, verb, to heap up. Acervating, acervated, acervation, noun, act of heaping up. Acervoli, noun, plural, little heaps or clusters. Acervaline, adverb, filled up in irregular heaps, applied in zoology to the shells of certain foraminifera. Huh. Okay, and that's an interesting word too. And remember, before we get to the last word before break, if you have a word that you want to look deeper into, don't forget to, if you're on YouTube, let me know in the comments below. If you're on the podcast, visit theoaktreejourneys.com. Go to contact me and send me that word that you want to do a deep dive into in the bonus video. And I will give you credit unless you ask me not to. So just keep that in mind. I will give you credit for it. And when we have 5 or more words, I'll do a deep dive bonus video. Okay, and so the last word before break, and we'll have done 26 words. Now remember, we are trying to do 59 words total today. So let's try for the 26th word before break. And I'm glad I'm taking a break because I'm going to need some hot tea. Okay, and this next word, I did practice, I promise, is ACESCENT. ACESCENT, and it's an adverb. It means slightly sour, tending to acidity. ACESCENCE, noun, or ascendancy, noun, tendency to acidity. Okay, and that is the last word before break, and we'll be right back. Hi, I hope you enjoyed that segment from my podcast, The Oak Tree Journeys, from the Encyclopedia Challenge. To hear the entire episode, please visit the link at the bottom in the description. And please don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe and share it to anyone you know who wants to read the entire encyclopedia or who's just interested in words. Thank you again and have a blessed day.